Okay, Hare Krishna, dear all the devotees. My obeisances. Yes, so please kindly open up your video. We will start our class. Yes. Om Jnana Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Ham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Ragunatam Vitantam Sajiva Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Vayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarana Hare Krishna. So today we are going to continue from text number 54. First of all, I really apologize that I am skipping too many classes and therefore we are stuck here in chapter 2. But hopefully, from today onward, we can go smoothly doing our course. So previously Krishna was explaining to Arjuna about the Buddhi Yoga. So Buddhi Yoga is none other than when karma and jnana combine together. This is called the Buddhi Yoga. And Krishna was explaining to Arjuna that how the mind of a person who is not fixed in Krishna consciousness, not engaged in devotional service, they have too many branches. Bahusaka yanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. But those who are fixed in Krishna consciousness, eke hakuru nandana, they have strong fixed mind, which is the service to the Lord. So, having described about Buddhi Yoga and the symptoms of a person fixed in devotional service, so now Arjuna will be asking to Krishna further about what are more symptoms of a person who is Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya means one who is fixed in transcendental service, transcendental knowledge. So Sthita Pragya become fixed in transcendental consciousness. After hearing Krishna's description of Buddhi Yoga, Arjuna asks how to recognize a transcendentalist. Krishna describes how a transcendentalist gives up all material desires, is equipoised and detached, yet continues to act according to prescribed duties. Krishna advises Arjuna to control his senses by following the regulative principles. By so doing, he will attain the mercy of the Lord and be happy. Okay, so this is the themes of this section. So from text number 54, Arjuna Vaja, Sthita Pragya Shakavasa Samadhista Shakesava, Sthita de Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Brajeta Kim. Translation. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? Kabasa means how he speaks. Then what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? So if we see from this sloka, why would Arjuna ask about how a person sit, how a person walk? So how he talk? Yeah, of course, externally, as Sri Rupa Goswami give the analogy, we cannot judge a sadhu simply by seeing the physical appearance. Just like Ganga, Rupa Goswami give the example, just like Ganga, that sometimes during rainy season, there are a lot of bubbles and seemingly Ganga becomes dirty. But if one completely aware about Ganga's position, so one will completely understand and having firm conviction that whatever happened in Ganga, Ganga will always pure. Yeah. So one cannot judge pure devotee by seeing his external appearance. Yeah. So how he walk, how he sit, how he talk. But of course, there is a deep meaning of Arjuna's question here. Yeah. So according to Srila Viswana Chakravarti Thakur, so he reveals each question's internal meaning. How is one who is transcendently situated, is Stita Pragya described? What are his characteristics? Yeah. So when Arjuna is asking symptoms, so how is Stita Pragya or a pure devotee is described? His characteristic. Lord Krishna will answer in the next verse. And then how are his intelligence and words affected by another's affection, anger, or neutrality? In other words, how does he respond? When Arjuna is asking how he speaks, what is his language? So Arjuna is referring to this, how his intelligence and how he deals with some situation, external situation that happen around him. And then how does he not engage his senses? What is his mentality when his senses are restrained from their objects? Okay, so this will be answered later in text 58 and 59. So how does he sit? How does he sit means how he control his senses. That's what Arjuna meant. And then how does he walk? What does it mean? How does he walk? Anybody would like to guess? How does he walk means how he engages his senses. Yeah. How he sits, that means how he controls his senses. And how he walks, that means how he engages his senses. Okay. So Stita Pragya, the word Stita Pragya means one who is transcendentally situated. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks. For speech is the most important quality of any man. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada gave the example. Just like it is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak. And certainly, a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. Yeah. So how do materialistic people talk? What are the topic of their discussion? All are pertaining to non-Krishna consciousness topic. And for devotee, of course, everything always related to Krishna. Yeah. So now here, Lord Krishna is answering Arjuna's first query about the characteristic of Stita Pragya. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kamam Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmane Vat Manatista Stita Pragyas Tadochate. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in itself alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Here, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavatya Kinchana, this verse explaining that devotees automatically develop good qualities. Yeah, Sarvai Gunais Tatra Samas Suraha. And Haro Abhaktasya to Mahaduna. And for the non-devotees, what good qualities they have. So now I would like to hear from you. Like sometimes we see the devotees with bad quality. And the non-devotees, they have like soft-hearted, being polite. How does this verse justify here? That's the statement of Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah. Harawa Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna. And for a devotee, they don't have any good qualities. Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvair Gunais Tatra Samaz Desuraha. For a devotee who's engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, the good qualities of the demigods automatically develop in their personalities. So anybody would like to comment on this? Sometimes we see devotees like really bad. Yeah. All right, let's break the ice. Who's going to break the ice? Or should I call upon someone here? Okay, let's hear from Srinivasan Prabhu. You are the chosen, the luckiest person at night. Hare Krishna. Yes, how do you respond this?
So when we see devotees and we see some bad qualities in them, we need to ignore it or avoid it. We should not consider them. We should not judge them based on those qualities because it could be due to that instantaneous outburst of anger or any other thing. We should, just because we notice them something bad, we should not judge the person. We should not come to any conclusion. It would be an offense, also one among the 10 offenses to that.
Good, thank you. Any other devotees from Mataji's side maybe you would like to add on that point? Rati Manjari Mataji would like to say something?
Prabhuji, actually, yes, I agree with what Srinivasan Prabhuji said, but I want to understand the question more deeply, like when you asked about the bad devotees and the good devotees. So, it's very it's very difficult for me to identify, like, if it's a devotee, he has to be good. So that's why I was
Okay, let me put on this like this. Have you ever fight with some devotees in your life?
Not fight, but yes, a few days ago I did get annoyed with
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Sometimes devotees annoying you,
yes,
and sometimes the devotees they behave like nice,
right.
Yeah, but this verse that Prahlad Maharaj mentioned, that he said that for devotees they will develop good qualities automatically, and for the non-devotees there's no good qualities. Yes.
So, Prabhuji, I can just share with you, like, what I went through, in the sense when I came across this experience. Then I had to really work on myself. That's why I said what Srinivasan Prabhu was saying, that I had to overlook and ignore the fact that I was hurt by certain things, and just focus on my own spiritual development and growth. Like you have to listen to the devotees, whatever they say, you have to accept, because like you say, no, they are the, like we say, vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Mm.
sindhu patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. They are after all devotees, and even if they hurt you, but they are close to Krishna. So I took it like that in my experience, and I just tried to work on myself to excuse them. So I don't know if I was selfish or I was being trying to be close to being a good devotee of Krishna. That's
Good.
what I wanted to share.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Bupalaka Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Nam Dandat to all the Vaishnavas present here. So my opinion is that there is no anything good or anything bad. It is one which situation, how it reacts, how one reacts makes him good or bad. That's all. There is no any bad person or any good person. That's what.
So, according to you, Hiranyakasipu is not a bad person.
He reacted according to his bad ideas and bad thoughts and views.
So that means
made
he's
him
bad.
That means
Isn't
he's
it?
bad. That's
Isn't it?
the reaction which he does in a situation makes him good or bad. That's it.
So how you describe
So
that?
his past
From-
karmas are
Yeah.
past karmas leading him to bad reactions. That's all.
So let's say like this. From which angle you would say that Hiranyakasipu is a good person? Because as you mentioned that good and bad is actually depending on, how we react to the situation.
No, actually we cannot say good or bad. It is the situation which makes the one person good or bad. That's what I say. It's only a situation. It actually happens. As if you look at it, Hiranyakashipu's past thing, he was actually wanting to become a glorious person. Okay, he did many tapas, he got many boons and all that. But because they killed his elder brother, that he became very angry. He started to hate the Vishnu tattvas and all that. So this way, it's only a situation. I feel it makes them bad or good.
Okay, thank you so much. Last one, Srinivasan Prabhu, come back to you again. You get a refreshed idea.
Prabhuji, just when you had given the example of Hiranyakashipu, one thing flashed. I was reading the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the last chapter, where after Hiranyakashipu is killed by Lord Narasimha, various demigods, the devatas, and different planetary systems, they all tell like the evil Hiranyakashipu is finally destroyed. Such statements, Prabhuji, we have read, and towards the end, we could I have read a statement from Narad Muni, who is a pure devotee. So Narad Muni says, finally Jaya and Vijaya, they have he sees the Tattva as it is. Jaya and Vijaya, they have gone back. They have got the liberation. So all others see Hiranyakashipu as Hiranyakashipu and the demon evil. But pure devotee like Narad Muni, he could see Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha as Jaya and Vijaya. So that is the context how a pure devotee see when something goes wrong, and other materialistically, other gradations, how they see Prabhuji. That is one thing which I wanted to mention. And when a devotee, say a Shiksha Guru or a Guru, chastises us, that is also bad in a materialistic context. But we need to be fortunate to be chastised by a Guru. That is what many senior devotees have also told. Only fortunate people will get that opportunity of being chastised.
Yes.
I want to tell this.
Good point. Okay, last one. Sudamayi Mataji. Sudamayi
Hare
Madhavi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Krishna tells in 9.30 shloka, Apiche Suduracharo Bhajate Ma Manya Bhak. In that, when Krishna is telling that even if one commits the most abominable actions, but when he is engaged in devotional service, he is considered saintly. So even I take it like that, Prabhu. Like when Krishna is only telling.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so I appreciated all your inputs on this topic. So we should not think and should not take advantage of this kind of verse. Yeah, like this one, that being devotees, that we are all good and the non-devotees are bad, because we have to know, according to Desa Kalapatra, how we behave in public. For example, this is very important. Sometimes it's happened in Indonesia. Yeah, in Indonesia, it's happened that we, being devotees, we are too convinced, which is good actually. We are too convinced that what we are doing is right. But another problem that the devotees have is they start blaming other practices. How the local Hindu is practicing. They offer meat to the temple. Well, that's their tradition. And then they start blasting, oh, you are offering like this is blah, 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 blah. And big fight started. It just happened recently. My father gave me a call. He told me this story. It's about like 2 months ago. Yeah. So what does it mean? Yes, like this kind of verse also, Abhijat Sudaracharo. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, this verse is actually describing the devotees who falls down accidentally. What does it mean, accidental fall down? Accidental fall down means one may break one or four the regulative principles, but he continues with his determination to serve the Lord and the devotees. Yeah. So this is accidental fall down. But complete fall down means he completely leaving or giving up the Krishna consciousness practice. Another example is that just like in a pond, we see that the pond with the clean water, as soon as we throw a stone, what happens? The mud will come up. So in the process of being purified through sadhana bhakti, so some certain anarthas will come up. Yeah, some certain anarthas will come up. So like this. And regarding the non-devotees, why this verse is mentioning that harau abhaktasya kudo mahadguna. And the non-devotees, they don't have good qualities at all because manorathena satibdhavato bahihi. Because they are completely dragged by the chariot of their mind, by the chariot of mental speculation, that they want simply to satisfy their senses. They are becoming a good person because they want some reputation. They want some recognition in the society, being a good person. Yeah. But simply by becoming good, it's like on the 0 level. We have to upgrade ourselves to the plus level. And that is Krishna consciousness. Yeah, let's leave it up to this point. I hope everybody is clear with that. Don't take advantage of this kind of slokas and start blasting people here and there. Because this is why I raised this point, because this is happening at the moment in Indonesia. Yeah. Oh, you people are offering corpse in the temple. So this is, insulting their culture. Yeah. Okay. Artificially, such sense desire cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desire subside without external effort. Okay, that's why I'm saying accidental fall down means you continue devotional service despite of difficulties in life, following the regulative principles. Because by following constantly engaging oneself in the service, especially chanting the holy name, that's actually gradually purifying oneself. Yeah. One time, Srila Prabhupada was asked by one of his disciples when he described about this accidental fall down. So he asked Prabhupada, so Prabhupada, what does it mean, accidental fall down? And then Srila Prabhupada said, accidental fall down is just like if you see this Brahmananda Swami smoking cigarette on the street, still you have to offer obeisances at his lotus feet. Like we know the story, like, okay, Brahmananda Prabhu, he was a sannyas, and somehow, he gave up his sannyas. But here's the thing, he continued his Krishna consciousness practice with great determination. That's what does it mean, accidental fall down. Yeah, you raise again, but completely bloop. We have this term, it is called bloop. Bloop means completely drown, complete fall down. You give up totally Krishna consciousness. Yeah, just like Srila Prabhupada was asking His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, so what happened to this devotee? What happened to that devotee? Where are they now? So they have this term, if they left the movement, Maharaj would say they are blue. Just like you throw a stone in the water, bloop, and sinking, never appear again on the surface. Yeah, but accidental fall down means you raise again, because Amamaya Duratya, it's not easy to overcome Maya. We are struggling. Yeah, but your determination will help you to be purified. And finally, one day we will find ourselves, hopefully, becoming a person whom we desire, free from all the anarthas. Okay, this is the characteristic. Yeah. In the lecture, Srila Prabhupada mentioned the first principle or first symptoms of self-realized soul is that he does not make any plan for his prosperity, because we are always busy in making plans. Now, after this, we shall do this. After this, we shall do this. But one who is self-realized, he has no plan, because he has dovetailed himself with the Supreme Consciousness. So for himself, he has nothing to do. He simply depends on the Supreme Consciousness. So how does this apply for the Grihastas? Because most of us here, Grihastas, right? And then if we don't plan, sometimes we are in a great difficulties. But Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, a pure devotee, they don't plan. How does this apply for the Grihastha devotees especially? Okay, if you are brahmachari, you don't need to plan sometimes. Life just go on like that. Okay, you are traveling here and there, somebody will sponsor you. Devotees are inclined to sponsor saffron dress devotees without any doubt. Okay, you are brahmachari, you don't have plan, no problem. But what about grihastha? Any comment on that? Yes, Srinivasan Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat. So Grihastha needs to plan to sustain his family and to get them to Krishna consciousness, whatever is required. The efforts, at least for that minimum, he needs to plan.
Yes.
And he needs to take care of the other ashramas, like donating to a sannyasi a portion of earning. And
Yes.
for those things, a grihastha has to earn.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Srinivasan Prabhu. Yes, we are being the grihastas. Yeah, most of us here grihastas. We plan means we just work, and the result, it's up to Krishna. Sometimes what we plan may fail, but we have to understand that, okay, Krishna has another plan. Yeah, Krishna has another plan. For example, in our early days of our movement, so Srila Prabhupada sent his different disciples to different part of the world to open center, to open temple, and preach. So His Grace Shyam Sundar Prabhu, His Grace Shyam Sundar Prabhu, and his wife, Alati Mataji. So at one point they don't have money because they are renting a flat, an apartment, and they make that as a center. So they are giving fees to the devotees every Sunday, and then they have to pay the rent, pay the electric bill, water bill, and so on. So one day, Shyamasundar Prabhu said, one day they don't have money left. 2 months already, they don't pay the rent, otherwise. And the owner said that next month, if you cannot pay, I'm sorry, you have to leave. And then Shyamasundar Prabhu was like, oh, what to do now? And one day at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was like snowy, it's so cold. Nobody is there on the street. All the lights still off in the city. He just, while contemplating this, how to get money, he took his beads, he walked out the street and start chanting his japa, and what happened suddenly? Money just showering from the sky, $100 bills, $100 bills, and there was nobody there. All the lights still off. Every building was, everybody still sleeping at 4 o'clock in the morning. Money fell from the sky. We don't know who threw it, of course, Krishna. And he started picking up those money, and those money enough to cover the due amount that they have to pay for the temple rent. And then they give fees also to devotees in Sunday program. And then he was, while narrating this, actually Shyamasundar Prabhu was crying. This was the miracle of Srila Prabhupada's potency. Because of his sincerity, he tried to follow the instruction of his guru to preach, And Krishna says, Yogaksema Vaham Yaham. Yogaksema Vaham Yaham. We should not doubt about this. Yes, we should plan at the same time, but we should not, the principle is that karmane vadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. Don't think that the result is because of you. Yeah, everything is depend on Krishna. I'm telling you one of my experience. So one day after Mangala Arati, I was chanting japa in the morning, up and down from our ISKCON temple to Gurukula. There is a road, there is a path over there. So I was chanting. And then on the way, while chanting, I found some money, 50 rupees. And I was thinking like, whoa, Krishna's giving me money early in the morning. And then what happened to me? The next day, again, I went there. Now my consciousness is contaminated. I think I will get more money. Yeah. So anyway, that's the difference of a pure devotee and not, like me. You are given by Krishna something and then you are asking for more. So anyway, that's the meaning. Okay. We as Grihastha, as Prabhuji rightly mentioned, Srinivasan Prabhu, we have to take care of our family members, your wife, your kids, provide what they need. Yeah. Actually, in the Vivaha, so yesterday I was doing Vivaha, Vivaha Yagya. So the groom actually, he should promise, he should take a vow that he will take care of the wife and providing whatever she needs, including very expensive jewelry. So when I mentioned this very expensive jewelry, everybody was laughing. That's the duty of a husband, to make his wife happy. Yeah, but at the same time, make her Krishna consciousness. Yeah, like this. So it is not that we just marry somebody and then neglect. There is a big difference between neglecting and detachment. Neglecting means you are abusing your family members, saying that, oh, he's Jiva, I'm Jiva, just like two logs of wood. Have you heard this analogy? Two logs of wood, sometimes they meet in the ocean being tossed by waves here and there, and sometimes they separate. So now it's like this. I'm independent, he's also independent. This is a wrong conception of thinking. Detachment means, as what we will discuss in next few verses, that although you are completely transcendental, still you have to act according to the prescribed duties. But internally you develop this detachment. inside. Because at any time our family members can die. This is a fact. Yeah. And we have to prepare for that. When somebody is gone in our family members, we should cry. Yeah. Otherwise, people will think, oh, such a stone-hearted person are you? Yeah, but internally we have to develop this sense of detachment. Yeah. Okay, text number 56. How he responds to the situation. Yeah. To Keswanu Dvignamana, Kesvi Gataspiha. Vitaraga Bayakrodas Chitadir Munir Uchyate. This is the classic verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? One who is not disturbed in mind even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Yeah? Being equipoised, that's the idea here. How a devotee should react toward miseries that comes to his life. Come back to the Brahma's prayer in the 10th canto, chapter 14. Yeah? Prabhupada mentioned here, such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds. And he sees that his miseries, by the grace of the Lord, are minimized to the lowest. Do you know the prayers of Brahma that I was referring? Tate nukampam susamik samanu. Bunjana evat makritam vipakam. So pure devotees will think, Bunjana evat makritam vipakam. I'm suffering now because of my past misdeeds. And because I am trying to be a devotee of the Lord, somehow or other Krishna have minimized this up to 99%. I am suffering only 1%. Actually, if I'm not a devotee of the Lord, I may suffer more. This is the mentality of a pure devotee. And he accepted. Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he got cursed by Sringi. It is described in the first canto that Parikshit Maharaj, being a great king, a great Mahabhagavata, is a pure devotee, he can counteract this curse. He can nullify this curse. But what happened? He accepted it. He took advantage of it. At least he know that from today, I'm preparing myself for next 7 days. Yeah. So he knows when he will die. Another example like Maharaj Chitraketu. He got cursed by Parvati. Why he got cursed by Parvati? Because one day Maharaj Chitraketu was traveling on his Vimana. Then he reached Kailas. In Kailas, Lord Shiva was giving Krishna Katha, to Brahma and all the sages and all the great demigods. But what happened? Shiva was keeping his wife Parvati on his lap and hugging her. So Chitraketu was laughing. Oh, Shiva, look at you. You are giving Bhagavatam class, but at the same time, your wife is sitting on your lap. This is unimaginable, And Shiva just kept silent. He just smiled, but Parvati got enraged and she cursed him. You don't know the position of Shiva. You are ignorant. Therefore, I curse you to become a Brahma Rakshasa. And in the next life, he becomes Vritasura. Yeah, he accepted this. Chitraketu is pure devotee. He can counteract that curse, but he accepts these so-called miseries as the mercy of the Lord. And what happened when he got the body of Vritasura? He was killed by Indra by the thunderbolt made from Dadichi Muni's bones, and it is armored by Narayan Kavacha. And then he went back home, back to Godhead. So he took the miseries as the mercy of the Lord. Yes, Rasamaya Nimai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandaswan, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have two questions. One for this verse and the previous one. Regarding this verse is related to miseries. How one can understand sometimes Krishna, as per Krishna's plan, devotee may suffer. That one thing. Sometimes it will come through karma. Because of his karma, he may suffer. How one can understand, Prabhuji? Like this is my first question, Prabhuji. And second question,
let me respond one by one.
Yes.
Okay. So how to understand this as Krishna's mercy? Yasyahamanugrhinami harishetadhanam sanaihi. When Krishna gives you special mercy, the first thing he will take from you is your dana, your wealth. Harishetadhanam sanaihi. Tato adanam. When you become adana, tyajantiasu swajana dukkha dukhitam. All your family members, friends will give you up. And then dukkha dukhitam. You will meet all types of miseries, and the only person you have is Krishna. See, here is the secret. Krishna will not give you suffering if that suffering will not bring you closer to him. Yeah. So I want to share my experience a little bit. Please don't mind. I just got married in 2017 here in Mayapur. And then immediately my spiritual master ordered me to go to Cambodia. So I went there with my wife. But before we left, my mother-in-law, she came from Russia. She gave us $300. And then one night before we left, we are cleaning the apartment where we were staying. So my wife, she put the money in the kitchen next to the stove. And I was cleaning the whole apartment, taking all the rubbish and the paper, which is not used. So I just grabbed those $300. I put in the garbage. Okay. And then we went in the airport. And then I was asking her, where is that $300? At that time we had no money. Where is that $300? I don't know. I gave you yesterday. I said, oh, I don't have. And finally, after we tried to recollect, she said, I put in the kitchen. I said, that's all. Whoever the garbage picker, he will be lucky to see this $300. He will be the happiest person, I said. And the only thing that we have left is 2 big trunks of Srila Prabhupada books. And then we went to Cambodia, and we had no idea. For 2 weeks, shamelessly, I was begging prasadam in the temple. And I said, Prabhu, here's my situation. I have no money. I'll do the service, and he just give us prasadam. Yeah. And then the only way how I get money is by distributing books, because if I work, then there's no preaching, because there are only 4 devotees at a time. Then finally the book shrinking down, almost finished, and then there was one South Indian devotee. His name is Parthasarati Gopinath. He's not initiated, but he likes ISKCON. He's from Sri Sampradaya. He came, and then we talked, and then he's asking, how do you maintain? This is like general question that people ask, to a full-time devotee, how do you maintain? I explained that, well, I'm distributing books, I'm doing food for life, I'm serving in the temple, and yeah. And then he asked me, how much you spend in a month? I said, well, for rent, we are paying $50. $50 is like, how much is that now? Like 4,000 rupees. Yeah, paying rent, $50. Then for prasadam, I try to manage like $2 in a day for both of us. And then he just pulled out $1,000 and gave it to me.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Sometimes Krishna is just checking your determination. I would say that, no, we don't have money. Why we should go to Cambodia? We just go back to Mayapur, right? But my wife said, okay, let's go. Just forget about that $300. If Krishna willing, he will give more. And he gave me 3 times more. Yeah. So don't think that I'm a special devotee. No, it's just one simple case that we as devotees may experience in real life. And you know what happened? I was crying. Like, I was so grateful, to Srila Prabhupada, to Krishna. That's one of the first time I cry. After many years, I didn't cry. Just I felt touched that Krishna is, yes, he takes care of me. So that's we should think. Sometimes miseries come, but there must be some lesson that we can get from it. And Krishna is checking our determination. Just like, Krishna is sometimes he's checking the conviction, the faith of Rukmini Devi. So he said to Rukmini one day while they are sitting on the bed together, Rukmini, why you married me? You could marry the great Kshatriya, I'm not at all a great Kshatriya. I'm just a cowherd boy. We moved from Mathura to Dwaraka because I'm a coward. I'm afraid of my enemy. Therefore, I'm taking shelter in this ocean. And Rukmini cry, and then he glorified Krishna, of course. This is from chapter 16, 10 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna loves to sometimes tease his devotees, put a test. How much is your determination? Still you perform devotional service after I give you a little pinch, or you just cry and forget me? That's how we respond. Yes, Rasamaya Nitai Prabhu, Nimai Prabhu, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Prabhu, my second question, I think Mata just asked you, Mata should not get angry at me. Really last evening, Prabhuji, during Vivaha Yagna, so Prabhuji should, whatever Mata is asked, even though it's a costly jewelry, so it should be giving or satisfying. So it should be practical, or it may be the desired Prabhuji. That's one question. And second is, what is the role of like Matajis for Prabhujis? This one.
Yes, it should be practical.
Yeah.
You as woman also, you should understand the situation of your husband. What if your wife asks you now, please pick up the moon for me? Not practical. And then what is the role of women? It's not only about the role of woman, role of a husband. Also, we should understand. Actually, in Mahabharata, that grandfather Bhishma, he's explaining about the Sri Dharma. Sri Dharma, what is the duties of women? Mainly, grandfather Bhishma explained that women should be, first of all, chaste. Yeah, women should be chaste. This is the first quality that a woman should have. She should be chaste. And second, she should be shy. Yeah, she should be shy. So woman's duty is to serve her husband faithfully. It is described in the Shastra that if she served her husband faithfully, so whatever devotion that the husband performed, half she will get it, even without she is doing any devotional service, just by serving the husband faithfully. Yeah, because being chaste, being faithful is the first and foremost quality of a woman. Of course, raising up the kids, this is the duty of woman in Grihastha ashram. Yeah, so there is a great detail also in the 7th canto given by Narada Muni to Yudhishthira Maharaj, chapter entitled "The Perfect Grihastha Ashram." Find that chapter in the 7th canto. Yeah, all is explained there. What is the duty of a husband? What is the duty of wife, like this? But first and foremost, she should serve the husband faithfully. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for that.
We should carry on. Yes. And then text 57. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil, because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil, because he is simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good absolute. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically samadhi. So samadhi means when we are absorbed in thought of Krishna. Okay. Therefore, when we absorb in the thought of the Lord, whatever happened, good or bad, we don't really care, because we have one pointed attention, and that is Krishna. Yeah. So that's how a pure devotee responding toward the situation. And then how he sits, controlling the senses. Yada samharate chayam kurmangani vasarvasa indriya tevyas tasya pragya pratisthita. This is an analogy of the tortoise. Yeah? One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects. As the tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Prabhupada also give the example. The senses are compared to a venomous serpent and the devotee to a snake charmer. The devotee should be strong like snake charmer in controlling his serpent-like senses. He should not allow his senses to act independently. This is the kurma anganiva sarvasaha. Yeah. The tortoise can at any moment wind up his senses and exhibit them again at any time for a particular purpose. Similarly, the senses of a Krishna conscious person are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Yeah. So this morning I was discussing with one senior devotee that how actually we can control our senses. With our own effort, we cannot actually control our senses. We can divert the senses, by engaging them in the service of the Lord. And then he mentioned that, let's take, for example, in Harinam, while doing the kirtan, we are completely absorbed in the holy name. We are dancing, we are singing so nicely, but as soon as the kirtan is finished, and then our minds start dragging us, our senses start dragging us, okay, Prabhu, time for ice cream. Okay, Prabhu, time for pizza, this and that, So the idea is that artificially, if we try to control our senses, definitely we will fail. But by engaging our senses in the service of the Lord, automatically the senses will become subdued. So that's the idea. That's how we control our senses, by engaging them in Krishna's service. Yeah. Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha raso varjam rasapyasya param tristva nivartate. Though the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment, taste for sense object remains. But ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste, he is fixed in his consciousness. Prabhupada mentioned when one is actually Krishna conscious, he automatically loses his taste for pale things. So param dristva nivartate, meaning getting a higher taste. One day His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was asked, like, why are you joining the Krishna consciousness movement till now? The idea is that sometimes when we are working, one day I need a break, right? At least once in a week, I need holiday. So also those who are working, they are waiting, okay, in some certain age, I will take retirement. But in Krishna consciousness, there is no such thing as retirement. There is no such thing. Even after you go back home, back to Godhead, you're still performing your senses. So when Maharaj was asked this question, why you join Krishna consciousness and you remain in Krishna consciousness till now, Bhakti Charu Maharaj replied, because there is higher taste. There is some sense of enjoyment that even sometimes you want to give up, but still you know too much and you feel bad if you want to give up. You feel bad if you want to give up. Because there is happiness in Krishna consciousness. That's why, if there's no happiness, why would we remain in Krishna consciousness? Yeah. We have to get up early in the morning for Mangalarati. We have to chant 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. No meat, no onion, not even onion, no garlic, no drugs, no alcohol. What to speak of illicit sex? That all the people in the material world dream about. But we know that actually there is a higher enjoyment other than this. Therefore, I'm still in Krishna consciousness, trying my best, following the four regulative principles, following my vow. Yeah, we have this conviction and we experience it Therefore, later in the 9th chapter, we find in text number 2, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksawagamam Dharmyam Susukam Katum Avyayam. Pratyaksha means by directly experiencing. Yeah, by directly experiencing it. It's not that we are saying, oh, I'm in Krishna consciousness and my life is happy. Because we are experiencing happiness, therefore we remain in Krishna consciousness. Yes, Bhupalaka Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Pranam.
Actually, I was trying to understand this one thing. You said that we have to actually give up the lower taste for the higher taste. Like from childhood, we have been experiencing, we wanted a cycle, and only when my parents bought me a cycle, I ride it for so many years, then I feel satisfied. Then I want a bike. I went for a bike, then I went for a car, then I went for a house. And this keeps going on in material life. So we all know that we have to go to Goloka. So will we get a chance to experience Goloka before going? Or how is that? Like cycle, bike, everything.
Yes,
So
yes.
what is this actually? What is this actually we are trying out, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Yes. There are two parts here. Yeah. First, you are giving the example of you are designing bicycle and then motorbike and then car, and it's keep going. That's the principles of sense enjoyment. Naja tu kama kamanam upabhogena samyati. Havisa Krishna vard meva bhuya eva vivadate. This is the verse that explained by King Yayati to his wife. Yeah. Naja tu kama kamanam upabhogena samyati. The material desire cannot be satisfied by supplying material enjoyment. It's just like Havisa Krishna vard meva bhuya eva vivadate. Just like fire. If you keep giving the fuel thinking that the fire will be satisfied and then extinguish itself, no, the more you give fuel, the more it flame up. That's the principles of sense gratification. Okay. And then the second part here is that can we experience Goloka before we go back to Goloka? For a person who is perfected in their lives, of course. Yes. Therefore, we keep trying our best, to become a devotee, Because Prabhupada mentioned later in the 8th chapter, Prabhupada will mention that for a pure devotee, he can live anywhere. Yeah, because Bhavadvida Bhagavatam Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibhu Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svantasvena Gadabhita. So the body of a pure devotee is just like a holy place. Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani, and wherever he walks, that place will turn into a holy place, into a spiritual world, because he uses all his senses in the service of the Lord. So his body is transcendental. Yeah, sometimes we know the principles that Bhauma Vrindavan is not different from Goloka Vrindavan. And then when we go to Vrindavan, all these, like, especially the monkeys, and then the rickshawala try to cheat you, like, how do you feel that the Bhauma Vrindavan is not different from Goloka Vrindavan unless we are transcendental to the material layer of Bhauma Vrindavan? Yeah. Some people here in Mayapur, for example, they came just to do some business. They build big guest houses, they open supermarket because they see the potential of the money coming. All these foreigners, white body people, they make the price of the land increase shortly because of these white people, and people just investing. So for them, the spiritual world is covered by the layer of Yogamaya. They can't see the spiritual world. They cannot appreciate Mayapur because they see only business in Mayapur. But the sincere devotees, they come here, they feel like, wow, so nice. Everywhere devotees, tilak and japamala, kantimala with the sikha. You see this, you cannot skip Hare Krishna. Even up to midnight, sometimes you hear somebody singing bhajan. If you stay during Gaura Purnima festival, let's say for 2 weeks, like these local Bengali devotees, they are howling in the midnight, they are howling, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So like that, yes, Goloka Vrindavan can be experienced in this very lifetime if we perfected ourselves. Iha yasya haridasya karmana manasa gira nikila swapyavastasu jivan mukta sauchyate. What this verse explains, jivan mukta sauchyate. Person is considered to be liberated, although he is still in the material body. What is the condition? Iha yasya haridasya haridasya. He engages all his senses in the service of Lord Hari, karmana, manasa, agira. Using his word, meaning activities, manasa is mind, agira is words. Yeah. So, 3 years ago, I had a friend. He came from Russia, when he just reached Mayapur, he was offering obeisances and taking all the dust into his head. I was like, all right, how long he can do like this? How long he can do like this? Even I remember when first time I came to Mayapur in 2014, I came by train from Calcutta to Nawadvip. Just in Nawadvip, get off from the train, I offer obeisances. Went to the Ghat, about to cross Ganga. I offer obeisances. As soon as reaching Mayapur, I offer obeisances. But now sometimes I see Ganga, I don't offer obeisances. There is a problem here. Yeah, so it's the matter of consciousness. Can we experience Goloka Vrindavan in our present life? Yes, when we are perfected in our consciousness. And everybody has this opportunity. Everybody. That's why Srila Prabhupada, even to the Grihastha, Prabhupada mentioned each of the house of the Grihasthas should be a temple. Yeah. Yes, Bhubalaka Prabhupada.
Yes, Abhijit, this was a real experience in my last Govardhan Puja, and before that one festival in the temple, when a few devotees gathered in the mantapa and they were singing and having kirtan, and then it went so ecstatic that I just really forgot myself, and I was lifting my hands and moving my whole body, and I was just mesmerized, just feeling like that. And I didn't know, to my knowledge, that somebody has captured me, and they're telling, "Oh wow, you're in wonderful exercise." So that I felt actually it's like Vaikuntha and Goloka, as you said, Prabhuji. So this is the feeling I understand. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes. We all, I'm pretty sure that each of us at one point has experiencing that, yes, that's it. This is what I want, the spiritual world, spiritual ecstasy. Yeah. So each of us, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you already shared your experience. Text 16. The senses are strong and impetuous, O Arjun, that they forcibly carry away the mind even of a man of discrimination who is endeavoring to control them. Prabhupada gave two examples in his purport. One is Vishwamitra and one is Ambarish Maharaj. Yeah? So Ambarish Maharaj is a pure devotee, so his mind is undisturbed. But Vishwamitra, as soon as Menaka came, so he became disturbed. So this is the difference between person who is fixed in Krishna consciousness and this is from Sarendra Antony. Krishna is telling Arjuna, do not give up work, do not become a jnani, a man who simply discriminates between matter and spirit. Perform your duty in Buddha Yoga. Krishna is showing Arjuna the defect of jnana in order to propose the superiority of bhakti. Okay, this is how the yoga ladder goes, but I just want to inform you that actually in chapter 2, Krishna here giving the yoga ladder but not in order. How Krishna start? Jnana, Atma Tattva Jnana. And then next, what he introduced to Arjuna, Karma Kanda. So it goes down. And after Karma Kanda, and then Buddha Yoga, it goes up again. So randomly, Krishna is answering Arjuna's query here and defeating his arguments in chapter 2. But from chapter 3, he will systematically explain the yoga ladder. Yeah. Therefore, we see like this, and it is mentioned here that Krishna is blaming Arjuna that by saying you should not become a jnani. It is not that becoming a jnani is bad. No, it's good. Otherwise, why would Krishna introduce it in the beginning of chapter 2? But the purpose he refused jnani is in order to put the superiority of Bhakti Yoga. Yeah. Text 61. Yukta asitama paraham. Yuktaha means engage, asita means should be situated, mat paraha means in relationship with me. One who restrains his senses, keeping them under full control and fixes his consciousness upon me is known as a man of steady intelligence. Yeah, purport that the highest conception of yoga perfection is Krishna consciousness is clearly explained in this verse. And unless one is Krishna conscious, it is not at all possible to control the senses. Yeah. Is it true? Yes, it is true. That how all these Westerners, let's say the Chinese, Srila Prabhupada, once he mentioned that China will be the last country who will accept Krishna consciousness. Yeah. And now we see that there are quite few numbers of devotees from China. Yeah. China, I'm telling you, these countries like Thailand, China, Vietnam, they love to eat dog. Really. They love to eat dog. I remember that when I was in Cambodia, so because I am actually the people there, they don't know our names. They just know that we are Hare Krishna. So, oh, he's Hare Krishna, he's Hare Krishna, she's Hare Krishna, like this. So we used to go to some different villages to distribute prasadam, khichdi. And then when we just pass on the road, so all these people, they are saying, oh, look at Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And one time I was witnessing that somebody was eating a meat, and then he's calling us Hare Krishna. Yeah. So I was thinking like the holy name is actually more merciful than Krishna himself. This person who is eating meat, his tongue, touching meat, now inviting Krishna into his tongue. Yeah, of course they get the Agyata Sukriti, unknown credit. Yeah, but the point here is that unless one becomes Krishna consciousness, it is not possible to give up the lower taste. Yeah. Let's take, for example, how many of us not born in devotee family? Most of us. Yeah. And then now if we travel in, some trains, as soon as we smell the onions, especially here in West Bengal, muri is very famous. Yeah. Jhal muri is very famous. So they mix this muri with onion. To smell that, it's like hell. Yeah. But before Krishna consciousness, oh my God, that's like the highest enjoyment. We love to eat onion. So because we are purified, so naturally we give up the lower taste. Naturally. Yeah. Text 62 and 63. Yeah, this is another classic verses from the Bhagavad Gita. Yadhyayatu visayam pumsam sangastesu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama kamat krodo vijayate krodat bhavati samoha samoha smriti vibrama smriti brahmsat buddhi naso buddhi nasa kanasa. So these are the 8 cycles of a person, how he falls down into material existence. First, Dhyayato, Visayan Pumsa, he contemplating on sense object, and then Sangha, attachment. And then Sangat Sanjayate Kama, from attachment, lust appear. And then from lust, Kamat Krudo Abhijayate, anger. After that, Krodat Bhavati Samoha, once becomes delusion. And then Smrti Brahmsa, Smrti Brahma means one's memory is lost, and Buddhi Nasa, one's intelligence is lost, and Buddhi Nasa Pranasyati, one falls down into the material pools. Yeah, so that's how it is. And this cycle is so scientific. First, we think of an object. Let's say we think about ice cream. Yeah. I don't know why did I mention ice cream too much today. Let's think about ice cream. Take example of ice cream. I want ice cream. And then once we get the ice cream, we get attached to the ice cream. Sangha. And then from Sangha, Kama, lust. We want more ice cream. And then Kamat Krodo Vijayate. From Kama appear Kroda. Why? Because not all the time what we desire be fulfilled. When we desire something and we don't get it, we become angry. Kamat Krodo Vijayate Krodat Bhavati Samoha. And then from anger, Samoha, illusion. Yeah. That's why whenever I fight with my wife, I tell her like this, cool down and then we talk. Because if someone is angry, he can say whatever, without thinking whatever. And woman will always remember whatever bad words that comes out from his man. This is true. I always make a joke of my wife. You have this red dot on your forehead. That's the recording button. You remember, she remember like 5-6 years ago, I'm amazed of that. Yeah. Anyway, illusion. That's why I never take someone's word seriously when he's angry. Yeah, this is the principles. Because he's an illusion. And then Krodat Bhavati Samoha, Samoha Smriti Vibramsa. And then he lost his memory. When one becomes illusion, he lost his memory. Smriti Vibramsa, Buddhi Naso. And then he lost his Buddhi intelligence. Buddhi Nasa Pranasyati. That's how he falls down into material existence. Yeah. So this is the 8 cycles scientifically explained by Krishna here. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, one who is not Krishna conscious is subjected to material desires while contemplating the object of senses. The senses require real engagements, and if they are not engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they will certainly seek engagement in the service of materialism. There are only 2 choices. You serve Krishna or you serve Maya. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So up to this point, we have discussed the characteristic of Sthita Pragya. Actually, the next part of the discussion still about Sthita Pragya. Yeah, the continuation. Let me see how much time we have. 15 minutes. I want to cover as much as we can. Few more verses. Yeah. Now, Sthita Pragya become fixed in transcendental consciousness. Krishna advises Arjuna to control his senses by following the regulative principles. By so doing, he will attain the mercy of the Lord and be happy. Yeah, this is just the continuation. Text 64. But a person free from all attachment and aversion and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada explained, it is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Yeah. So artificial controlling the senses, we have discussed this. I just want to go through on this. In a lecture, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, in every temple, nice musical sound is going on. If you're there, you sit down for a time and you hear and you become satisfied. So the ear is satisfied, the eyes are satisfied. Then you take very, very nice, palatable, I mean to say, food stuff offered to the deity. And you are offered prasadam as remnants. So these arrangements are there, and not only in Vrindavan, in every town still system is going on. That means our senses, in a different way, they are engaged. They are engaged, spiritually engaged. So come back to the principles that controlling the senses by our own effort is really hard. Yeah, the only way we can do is that engaging them in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Text 65. For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. Yeah. Purport, this is from Surrender Anton. So, without bhakti, regardless of what one possesses or what one does, no one is satisfied. As we see in the example of Srila Vyasadev's lamentation in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva had compiled the Vedas, added the Puranas, and composed the Mahabharata, yet because he had not emphasized bhakti, he remained dissatisfied in mind. So, Vyasadeva has compiled all these Vedas. He divided the one Veda into 4 Vedas. Therefore, his name is Vyasa. Vyasa means one who divides. Actually, his name was Dvaipayana. Yeah, he was born in a Dvipa, in an island. Yeah, but because he is very clever, he divided the one Veda into 4. Therefore, he got the title Vyasa. And then not only dividing the one Veda into 4, but he wrote the Mahabharata also for the sake of those who are less intelligent. Yeah, because the essence of Mahabharata is the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, people generally, they don't really like philosophy. They like to listen story more. Yeah, just like a kid. If you give them philosophy, sometimes they feel tired and bored. But if you tell them story, so they will listen. So here is this, the Mahabharata, the narration, the story, pastimes. And then he injected the essence, which is Bhagavad Gita. Now, even after compiling the Mahabharata, he's still feeling dissatisfied. Why? Although actually Bhagavad Gita is full of narration of bhakti, description of bhakti. The reason is that when Narada appeared, he told Vyasadeva, because he's still not glorifying enough Krishna's pastimes with his intimate devotees in Vrindavan and Dwaraka. Compared to what he has done, therefore the most of the part of the Vedas are dealing with karma kanda. Vyasadeva is compiling the Vedas like this. He gives so much allurement. If you do this, you will get this. If you want heaven, you do this. If you want to go to moon planet, you do this, like this. But he is not sufficiently describing the pastimes of the Lord. And therefore, he feels unsatisfied within his heart. So the point here is that as long as we not properly enough engage in devotional service, we will remain incomplete. Sometimes we may ask our questions. I have been joining ISKCON for such and such number of years. I have been chanting my 16 round for, let's say, 20 years. But still, why I still have a lot of material desires? Well, we have to check ourselves again. Are we doing our sadhana properly? Are we doing our chanting properly? Do we read Srila Prabhupada books? Yeah. Do we hear classes regularly? Yeah, like this. So it should be engaged, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, 24 hours. Yeah. How we can engage ourselves 24 hours. That means as much as possible. Yeah. So we don't give space for Maya, because Maya is very intelligent. As soon as you give space, just like a cat, in any space that the head of a cat can enter, his entire body can also enter. Yeah. So Maya also like that. If we give some little space for Maya to enter, and that's it, she will enter. Just like maybe you realize that sometimes I caught up on Facebook, let's say, for example, watching some reels. Actually, I want to watch one reel, but you keep scrolling one reel after another reel, and it becomes hours. Yeah, have you experienced this? Or it's only me? I'm an open person. I said this, yes. And I'm trying to use my Sastri Chaksu. Oh yeah, actually, this is Maya. Stop it. So that's how Maya entered. I just want to see this. And then finally, what happened? We don't realize. We just carried away. Yeah. Text 66. When one is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness, can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Okay, first become peaceful and then you become happy. What is peace formula? This is from the 5th chapter, the last verse. Yeah, Bhuktaram Yagyata Vasam Sarvalokam Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyatramam Santim Vichati. We know that Krishna is the benefactor of all the yagyas and tapasya, and then he owns all the planets, Sarvalokam Maheshwaram, and he's our best friend, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. So in Sanskrit term, there are different words describing about friends. One word is mitra. Mitra means also friends. What kind of friendship? That you give mutual benefit. I get something from you, you get something from me. Let's be friends. This is called mitra. And then bandhu is also friend. What kind of friends? Just regular friend. Yeah. And then suhrit. Suhrit means one who always desiring our welfare. Whether I get benefit from this friendship or not, he is my friend. I'm always wishing his goodness. Yeah. So that is Suhrid. And Krishna is the Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He is the one who always desiring our welfare. Purport. Therefore, one who is engaged without relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and without peace, however much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. I found this somewhere. I forgot where I got this. It's already in my slide. I made this slide about how many years now? 4 years. 2019. A phone is useless without a battery, and a battery is useless if it is not connected with charger. Similarly, our body is useless without soul, and a soul is totally useless if we are not connected with Krishna. The point here is that making our connection with Krishna. Text 67. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. Yeah, sense object, contemplating about sense object. As mentioned in the life of Maharaj Ambarish, all of the senses must be engaged in Krishna consciousness, for that is the correct technique for controlling the mind. Yeah, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vidayo. That is this beautiful sloka in the 9 canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describing about Ambarish Maharaj. First, he always engages his mind in thinking about Krishna. Yeah, Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vidayo. Text 68. Therefore, O my Tyam, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. Yeah. Only by Krishna consciousness one is really established in intelligence, and that one should practice this art under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. 69. Yanisa sarva bhutanam tasyam jagat samyami. Yasam jagrati bhutani sanisa pasyato mame. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for self-control. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective search. Yeah, this is the difference between the devotees and non-devotees. Purport: the introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reaction. Yeah. Dukkavad anyata sukha kalena sarvatra gambhira rahasa. So the intelligent person is not concerned so much about dukkha and sukha, because dukkha and sukha will come by the due course of time. Just like we don't desire distress. Nobody wants distress, right? Except Queen Kunti. Vipada Santuta Sasva. She is asking for more trouble. But generally speaking, no one wanting distress. But distress will come. When it's times to be distressed, that's it. You cannot avoid it. When it's times for you to cry, you will cry. So also material happiness like that. Without we desire, it will come. But what the intelligent person's concerned about, tasyaiva heto prayate kovido alavyate dukkhavat anyatasika. Brahmatam hyuparadaha. He is concerning only about his engagement in the service of the Lord. The next one, Apuriyamana Machala Pratistham Samudamapa Pravisanti Advat Tadvat Kamayam Pravisanti Sarve Sasantim Apnoti Nakamakam. This is an analogy. Yeah. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enters like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled, but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desire. Yeah. Sasantim apnoti na kamakam. If we have a lot of kama, then there is no santi. Right? Imagine if you don't desire bicycle, Bupalaka Prabhu, there is no anxiety. Yeah, because we have this desire. Then there is anxiety. But of course, there is spiritual or transcendental anxiety also. Yeah, that's a different thing. Purport: as the ocean is always being filled by rivers but remains steady and not agitated, a person fixed in Krishna consciousness remains undisturbed even amidst the incessant flow of desires. What does it mean? Just like the ocean, in the ocean there are thousands of rivers streaming inside the ocean, but what happened? It still remains fixed in its position. It's not getting overflowed. So similarly, becoming a devotee, don't think that you don't have material desire. You have material desire. But how a devotee react on that? He doesn't pay attention on that desire. Just like how the rivers flowing to the ocean remains steady. So a devotee will remain steady despite of having a lot of material desires. Yeah. We know how to deal with our material desires. Text 71. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship, and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. To become desireless means not to desire anything for sense gratification. In other words, desire for becoming Krishna conscious is actually desirelessness. To understand one's actual position as the eternal servitor of Krishna without falsely claiming his material body to be oneself and without falsely claiming proprietorship over anything in the material world, over anything in the world, is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada is very clear here. One cannot be desireless. There must be desire. Either it is material or spiritual. Of course, proper desire is spiritual desire. What is the desire of Uddhava? Anybody come across hearing something what Uddhava desired? Asam aho charanare nujusam aham brindavanam kim api gulma latau sadinam. He wants to become the herbs, the grass, and the bushes in Vrindavan. Why? Asam aho charanare nujusam aham sham. Because the gopis, they trample all these bushes, the kunja, all the herbs, the grass. So if Uddhava becomes a grass, he will get the dust of the lotus feet of the gopis. That was his desire. That his desire. Is desiring the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees. The last one. That is the way of spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. If one is not situated even at the hour of death, one can enter into the kingdom of God. One can attain Krishna consciousness or divine life at once within a second, or one may not attain such a state of life even after millions of births. It is only a matter of understanding and accepting the fact. Katwanga Maharaj attained this state of life just a few minutes before his death by surrendering unto Krishna. Nirvana means ending the process of materialistic life. According to Buddhist philosophy, there is only void after the completion of this material life. But Bhagavad Gita teaches differently. Actual life begins after the completion of this material life. Attainment of Krishna consciousness even during this life is immediate attainment of Brahman, and one who is situated in Krishna consciousness has certainly already entered into the kingdom of God. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has summarized the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as being the content for the whole text. In the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matters are Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. In the second chapter, Karma Yoga and Jnana have been clearly discussed, and a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga has also been given as the content for the complete text. Okay? Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So our time is up. Before closing the session, we have read in Srila Prabhupada's purport, he mentioned about Katwanga Maharaj. How many of you have heard the story of Katwanga Maharaj? Now you will hear. So Katwanga is a great king, a valiant king, very powerful, So one day, the demon attacked demigods in heaven. And then Indra came to earth asking help from Katwanga Maharaj. And Katwanga Maharaj agreed for that. He went up to heaven, he fought the demon and defeated all of them. And then the demigods being so pleased, they are asking Katwanga Maharaj, we are very pleased with your service, Maharaj. Please ask any boon, anything you want in life, we shall grant you. And Katwanga Maharaj said, can you tell me how long I will be living in my body? So that's the point here. That actually, despite of Katwanga Maharaj being an administrative king, he's managing the kingdom, the society, still he never forget about inquiring about the purpose of life. So Katwanga Maharaj was asking, can I know when I will die? And then they checked with Chitragupta. Chitragupta is the assistant of Yamaraj, who is writing down the whole thing about our life from A to Z, when we will die also. And then they told him, well, Maharaj, you have only half muhurta, 24 minutes. And Katwanga Maharaj said, oh, there is no time for enjoyment. He went to the earth and then performed austerities, devotional service. Within that 24 minutes, he attained Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah, as the Prabhupada mentioned, if one is fixed in Krishna consciousness, even at the time of death, one can attain perfection. But if one is not fixed, even after millions of lifetimes, one cannot attain the perfection of life. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 2. Phew, finally, Hare Krishna. Just to summarize it briefly, in the beginning of chapter 2, we find one more arguments of Arjuna not to fight, which is the indecision. How Krishna responded to that point of being indecision by fixing our mind in Krishna service. Yeah. Otherwise, Buddhayo Vyavasayinam, the body, the intelligence will be branched. Yeah. And then using Dhyana Yoga, he defeats Arjuna's arguments of compassion, because for the soul there is no death. And then using Karma Yoga, he defeats Arjuna's argument of enjoyment. Yeah. And then using Buddhi Yoga, defeating his argument of sinful. Yeah. And then what else? I mentioned 4. And destruction of the family dynasty. Yes. Here Krishna is explaining, if you are fully in Krishna consciousness, you don't have to follow the Vedic rituals. Yeah. Like this. So first and foremost, be fully in Krishna consciousness. Then you can say that, oh, I don't have to follow this. Yeah. Okay. I thank you so much. I really appreciate all of your presence. Let me take your attendance. Yes, I'm sorry that sometimes I just make sudden change, sudden plan. I'm not the controller. That's how I justify my situation. So please read as much as you can, chapter 3, at least the translation of the text. We will continue the Karma Yoga on Sunday, chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. If you have any question or comment, you can express it in our first minute in next class, because I have another session after this. I'm sorry, Srinivasan Prabhu. You keep it in the parking lot. You can ask in the next session.
Not a
Hare
query.
Krishna.
I created the attendance sheet. So if you are comfortable or not, just message me, Prabhu. I will. In case any
Yeah,
change.
actually, I'm not comfortable. No need to message you. I want to give you this responsibility. Now you are blessed with this service, Prabhu. Your life is perfected. Thank you for the Vaishnava Seva. Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhu, if you can do this, please do it for me. You know, I mean, I have full plates in my life. Thank you.